Hey, here we go. Welcome to the first of the new year, your episode 13 or episode 1 of season 2. I guess that's what
All
we're going to
right,
call it,
season 2.
of the Whatever is Biting podcast. I'm John, of course, from Creek Fishing Adventures,
And I'm Ethan. Fish anything.
and we're excited to be here. It's this January the 15th is when we're recording, so right in the middle of the month. Um, it's new year, but if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see new backgrounds that you didn't see last year. Both of us. I just moved into a house. I moved in right before the new year. I think it was like the 30th. And Ethan, you just moved in a couple days ago.
I moved in like 4 days ago. So unfortunately, I'm just gonna give away my spoiler here. My fishing for the last month has been non-existent, so I don't have very many updates for you. But fortunately, that's why we have John as our main host here, because he's always fishing. But yeah, we both moved, so exciting times, definitely. A lot of stuff to work on, a lot of stuff to get done, but it's also kind of fun. Like, you pack stuff up and then you unpack it and you're like, oh, I kind of forgot about that thing. And now I'm like, I've got all this fishing gear. I'm kind of excited in 2025 to fish with some stuff I kind of forgot I had sitting around.
Ethan, I did a video. I was like, my nephews were helping me move, and I got all my fishing rods. And I did a video counting up how much all my fishing rods and reels cost.
Oh, geez.
Estimate. And I put this on my second channel. So if you watch my second channel called More Creek Fishing Adventures, I put more random stuff, reviews and different things. But I went through and roughly added up how much money is in is in my rods and reels. Either I bought them or someone, or a lot of them are from companies that give to me. But about how much they would cost to replace them new. Got any ideas?
I'm gonna guess that you have. I got to figure out how many rods and reels you have. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say you have about 41. Am I close? I got to be close.
Double.
Double. You have
I have a
80
lot of cheap. I
fishing
have all
rods.
kinds of random stuff. I have
Oh,
so
you
many.
probably have a bunch of really, like, 15, 20-year-old stuff that's cheap too, like, just because you've collected along the
Yeah.
way. I'm not like you. I don't keep them. I just kind of give stuff away as I feel like I have too much. I can't live with too much clutter with regards to fishing stuff. I don't know, man. That's a hard thing to guess. Is it about 12,000? No, that's not even. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah. It was like 10,500.
Dang, I was actually relatively close
So
there. I stopped
yeah.
myself. That's a lot of money poured into fishing gear.
And that's not even like there was like a bunch of stuff I wasn't even included in there, but it's incredible when you think about it. But at the same time, especially for the last 5 years, this is all I've done. I'm kind of surprised I don't have more. I was like,
Yeah, I mean,
but
I
I
think
wouldn't even
people
want to
hear
go through
that.
all the. Well, I didn't buy every single one of them, but and then I
Yeah.
just ended up giving like 5 of them away to my buddy the other day. So
How
it was
generous
a
of
good
you.
it was
Now
a good
you only have
cleansing. I was like
75
went
rods.
through what
I said, how generous of you. Now you
kind of
only
like
have
when
75
like
rods.
I just did when I moved. I went yeah yeah I know I'll go buy some more soon. But like I threw a bunch of clothes away when I moved. I was like, you know what? I need to clean out some of these rods that I've been hanging on to. I'm sentimental about stuff. I like keep some just to keep them. I don't know why. And then I'm like, all right, some of these I'm never going to use. Just go ahead and get rid of them. Give them to somebody. Let them try it. Is there anything that you saw that you were like, you got to get rid of when you move?
Um, Honestly, last year I went through like a big kind of like spring cleaning thing where I got rid of like pounds and pounds of gear and boxes. So I've gotten rid of a lot of my clutter. That being said, I still have a lot of stuff that I don't really use. I guess in the back of my head, I see something, I'm like, yeah, I have a plan for that. And I just never get around to doing the things that I'm thinking about in my head. But this year in 2025, I'm going to catch some fish on some bigger baits.
Ooh.
I've accumulated a good amount of big baits, and I am a straight up ultralight angler. The smaller, the better. You guys know me. But this year, 2025, mark my words, folks. Mark my words. We're going to catch some fish on some big baits that are the polar opposite of what I typically catch fish on.
All right, you heard him. Be watching. I want to see what happens. Speaking of fishing, let's get into a little bit of fishing since I got a little update of what I did today. So actually, we're recording this live stream. I got home like 5 minutes ago. We've been recording for 5 minutes. Okay, I got home 10 minutes ago. I actually got caught up in North Georgia. I went up. I did some exploring. It's like, it's cold. It's been hard to get out and just get motivated to like really go fish a lot. And a lot of my places. So I'm like, you know what? Let me go exploring some water that I've been wanting to kind of check out, maybe for spring. But also, I think it has trout in it. So I went up into the mountains, and there were several roads that were still like iced over. So good thing I got my Suburban. I had to put it in 4-wheel drive in a couple places. But I went to this river that I'd never been to that part of it. And I actually caught 4 trout today. I caught 3 rainbows and a little brown.
You got me beat.
That was kind of neat. And it was like right at the end of the day. I'm like, man, why didn't I get here sooner? So I'm actually thinking about driving back tomorrow. It's like an hour and a half away to get to this area, but there's like a bunch of areas you can pull off. So there's like a lot of like public sections to pull off. It's a delayed harvest area. So so that's kind of why I was late getting back, because I was like way farther out in the mountains. So but as I pulled over at the side of the road. I'm walking down the road, and I'm about to like head down this little trail. I look over and I see something. At first I thought it was a dead dog. It was a dead bear.
That's so weird.
And it wasn't a big one. I got a picture. I'm probably going to call like the Georgia's DNR tomorrow and just report it. Like, I don't know if you're supposed to or not, but it was very random. But there's a lot of bear in those areas up there. But it was probably like 100 pounds, pretty young, like black bear. But,
poor bear. He must have got hit by a car on that.
Yeah, it's like a steep hill on one side and then like a little drop off. He either got hit and knocked down the hill, or maybe jumped like and broke his neck or something. But yeah, very, very rare do you see a dead bear laying.
I've never seen a dead bear before.
Somewhere.
This is, I guess that's something. Maybe I'll add it to my bucket list. I hope someday to see a dead bear. Well, I mean, I've seen a dead bear. I guess I've seen stuffed bears, but that doesn't really count. I haven't seen a freshly dead bear. That's a strange. Yeah, I wouldn't expect to see that. But man, I'm happy to hear you caught some trout, and I'm sad that you beat me, because last time we talked about, I started getting a little egotistical, and I said, "Yeah, I'm going to beat you. I'm going to catch a bigger trout." Man, I haven't caught a single fish since we last talked. So I hope tomorrow, I would say I strongly would encourage you to go back and catch fish on my behalf, because it is 17 degrees here at the moment. I just checked my phone. It has been cold. And I am actually happy about that, because for the last 2 years, I've said, I'm tired of these like weird, mild winters where I can't do anything. Finally, some harshly cold weather. So I'm going to actually get out and do some ice fishing. And I did, unfortunately, I did have like a short amount of time. I moved in on Saturday, and then we had gotten enough done on Saturday that I was like, all right, I can go ice fishing for like, an hour and a half or 2 on Sunday. So I was able to go that afternoon, but I just couldn't locate the fish. They didn't seem to be in the area I was, and I wasn't able to, get out and explore too much. I hooked one fish. I had him pinned for a second, and he like shook his head and the hook just popped out. So don't know what it was, probably a perch. So that's a bummer, but at least it gives me high hopes. Like the fact that we're keeping this cold weather, it's going to give me something to do. Like, I don't know. I'm just happy that I have like the ability to go ice fishing. It's not my favorite, but it's better than the alternative. If it was mild, I wouldn't have anything to do at all. So I'm excited.
How far away your new house how far was it from like any kind of body of water or what?
Michigan, there's always a body of water a few minutes away. I mean, realistically, but my old house was, I had access to a body of water there, so I could always walk out and do ice fishing in the winter. I didn't honestly fish it that much because it wasn't my favorite place to fish. But it was convenient for ice fishing. So this house, I'll have to figure out my favorite spots to go for ice fishing. But I mean, I'm always 10 to 20 minutes away from somewhere to fish. So it's
Is it easy to just kind of just go randomly ice fish somewhere? Or do you really have to plan it out?
Oh, you can just go. I mean, like if you have your gear, like you can just pull up and go. That's kind of my main plan this year is like, I don't want to plan it out as much. Like I feel like a lot of times people that make fishing videos, you try to have a plan. You do your intros, you do all that stuff. But for me this year, I'm just like, look, I'm gonna keep my cameras on me, but I am just going to fish and I'll figure out all the other stuff later. The nice thing with ice fishing, you keep your gear on you, and instead of like, if you don't, kayak fishing, you got to load the kayak, you got to put it on the water. This, it's like you pull it out there, you punch a hole, you go. So you can if you've got an hour to kill, you can still get some ice fishing in. The hard thing is locating fish. You got this much space that you're fishing. So if you're not on top of them, you got to punch a lot of holes and kind of get a feel for where they might be located from a depth perspective. So sometimes it's like an hour is just an hour in, you might be like, oh, now I think I know what they're doing. And then it's like, if you only have a little bit of time to fish, it's not so efficient. Anyways, that's been my experience.
Yeah. Ice fishing always amazed me. I'm like, how do you catch any fish? Like, I mean, you get one little hole that you're fishing through. It's amazing how a fish comes through there. It just doesn't make sense. But
I feel like a lot of northern waters have dense populations though too. And like, so once you get on like the right depth, the other thing is like these fish, especially like active fish in cold water, like think about perch or walleye or northern pike, like these fish are cold water fish. If they can see it from a good distance, they're liable to swim over it to it. They're going to investigate it, especially like a flashy thing like a spoon or like whatever, there's something with a rattle in it. That's going to kind of call them in from a ways out. So I definitely agree with you. But the more you do it, you start to realize these fish likely move quite a ways.
I got a little, I guess we can go ahead and get into it. I got a little show and tell, and I want to ask you about it, some BFS stuff. So I've had a lot of comments and questions over the last probably at least 2 years from my channel to try BFS. And I'm a real stubborn person. So unless I want to do it, I am not going to do it. It's hard. Yep. And it's hard for me to change things. But when I'm ready to try something, I'm like, okay, now I'm going to give this a chance. I'm going to buy I'm going to buy what I want, buy some good stuff and actually give this a good try. So I know we talked about it probably in the summer. I got sent a reel from Cast King. Mm-hmm. The Zephyr, they're like cheap BFS. And I had a lot of trouble with it. I didn't like it. Bird nest. The line got caught in the side. I couldn't figure it out. It was, I used it like a couple times. And actually one of my best videos is using it, doing some topwater fishing in a creek. It's got like 1 million views. It's crazy. But I used it a couple times and I put it away. Well, here recently, I kind of just got the itch. Like, all right, I saw some things recently where I was using some small crankbaits, and I caught some really good fish, and it kind of just like triggered some things. And I'm like, you know what? I think I'm ready to try BFS because I have some ideas how some smaller lures on a casting setup could work really well. Anyhow, I went down a little bit of a hole, ordered a few things off online. Let me show you. If you're listening, I'll describe it. First one I got was the Cast King Kestrel. Now, this is their like $120 reel. Do you have one of these?
I do. They actually sent me one. So I've used it. Yeah, it seems like it works pretty well.
Well, this was way easier than the other one. So like it was like night and day difference.
Really?
Which is it's about double the price of the other one. So they say it throws down to like a 1/32, and I have 10-pound braid on here because that's just what I had. I'm not sure what I want to change it to, but I can throw a 1/16 ounce jig head, like a little Bobby Garland or whatever.
Yep.
Pretty far, surprisingly far, further than I thought. So I was like, wow, that's actually way better than I thought. And I got it on the Kestrel, what is it, ultralight rod. It's a 6.3 ultralight rod.
Nice.
So it's a small little combo. I've caught a few fish on it, but let me show you this other one. And then I went and bought a little bit nicer one. So this right here is the Shimano Corrado BFS reel.
We have the
like
same reels.
okay.
Is
It's
that the
like
wait? Is that the Dolphins?
no,
No,
it's
that's
the
the Phoenix. That's
Phoenix
the
rod.
Phoenix. Oh man, how's
So
the Phoenix treating you? I'm excited to hear about
so
this one.
I found this Phoenix online. I was just like, I get on Amazon sometimes and start typing in stuff. This rod's a 6'8". It does. I don't know what it's rated, but I guess it's an ultralight. It's pretty light.
Hmm,
This thing is like so light. This whole combo is like weighs nothing. But
it's
I got
awesome.
7-pound fluoro on there,
Hmm,
and my goal was to use this for like bass,
yeah.
like to be, but also be able to handle like big bass. Because I've been throwing the little Rebel crawl recently, and I caught like a 4.5 pounder on it the other day in Florida. Well, I guess a month ago. But anyhow, this right here is like a $400 setup. After
Oh my
tax.
gosh. So that must be a pretty high end rod then.
The rod is like 180 something. The reel's like
Okay.
190, I think, or whatever.
Wow.
Um,
Yeah, I have that reel. That rod looks pretty cool. Yeah, I've got the Dobbins rod, and then my other rod is like actually that red thing right there, that red rod.
oh yeah,
It was like a subscriber, Chris, in the Chicago area. He made it for me, and I'm like, dude, that thing's sweet. So I chuck around like little like micro spinner baits and like bladed jigs and stuff on it. It's been a lot of fun. But yeah, so you've been throwing the micro crankbaits and stuff, like more of the Rebel craws and stuff like that. Has
yeah. So
is it
this
meeting your expectations? Are you happy?
here's the Rebel crawl.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's nice.
I caught a couple bass on it, and I caught a trout on it a couple days ago on the Rebel crawl,
Nice.
and the rod is a lot softer than I thought. So I'm probably going to buy. I'm trying to hold back. I already want to go buy it, but I'm probably going to go buy the Shimano Corrado light or medium light, and I think
Hmm.
they have it at 610. And my buddy has it. It feels amazing.
I didn't
I'm
realize that Shimano made like a light casting rod.
Yeah, I didn't either. And they have it. They have it in a tackle store near me. And they had
Hmm.
the light. But my buddy Patrick, he has the same Corrado reel with the Corrado rod in a medium light. And now that feels really good. That feels like a great Ned rig rod.
Hmm.
I'm also wanting to throw like small topwater lures more,
Sure.
or little buzz baits. I do a lot of river floats where there's a lot of small fish, but also big fish. And if you throw big lures all day, it's fun, like bigger stuff, but you'll miss a lot of these little bites. I'm like, man,
Yeah.
I know those big fish will hit the same small lure. I want to try like changing it up a little bit this year.
Hmm.
Also, crankbaits I don't ever use much just because I think having a rod like that will also help me throw some smaller crankbaits that I actually might
Yeah,
catch more
yeah, I
fish.
agree. Crankbait just feels
Um,
more comfortable on a casting rod, and it's
yeah,
like I do not like the feeling of like the big spinning handle trying to reel in a crankbait. It just feels
yep,
weird. Like as we've talked about, I think we've talked about this in the past, is I just feel like BFS, where I think it's more fun for me from like a bass fishing standpoint, is more of the traditional power fishing style baits, except just smaller versions of them. Yeah, stuff like that where it's like, you would throw the larger version on a casting rod and it would feel very weird on a spinning rod. It feels more natural on a BFS. So that's what I have fun with. I'm
if you're
excited
looking,
though.
yeah, if you're, I've been looking this up, but if you're looking for something, I feel like will catch every size fish, especially in like rivers and creeks. Um, Z-Man makes micro, or they're called mini chatterbaits, but they have a 1/16 ounce one and a 1/8 ounce one. Well, one of them's called the flashback, one's a chatterbait, but I have a couple 1/16 ounce that I've thrown on spinning gear, and you can catch like all kinds of different fish, but it's really amazing. So I'm kind of want to lean into that a lot more, throwing those small lures, but knowing
Yeah,
that they will also catch 3 and 4 pound bass, whenever they're around.
absolutely. Absolutely. That was I think Jackal, I want to say, makes some like, it's not available domestically. It's more of like a JDM thing. But when I was fishing with Jeff and Paul from the Aggressively Average Anglers, and also Debo's fishing, he's out of Iowa. He had come up and fished. He had given them a couple like little micro Jackal bladed jigs. They're super cool.
Hmm.
I can't, the name I'm I just cannot remember because it's a JDM thing. But the skirt was super high quality. The keeper on it was nice, and it felt perfect on the BFS setup. So I'm kind of hoping I want to kind of pick up a few more of those and do some power fishing this year with that, because that was just a lot of fun. Like you're running that thing down like a weed line, and like you said, yeah, you're going to catch some small bass along the way, but you're still going to get those larger fish to come out and thump it. And when you've got like a light rod that just doubles over, I mean, it's pretty fun.
Well,
So
I was like the small crankbait things, even like those real small, like I say, the bitsy minnow,
yeah, for
like
sure.
that will catch every type of fish in a creek. Like, and I go to a lot of creeks where I feel like I have to choose bass or do I want to catch like panfish, and I think that BFS can give me something where it can
Hmm.
do both
Get a
with
little bit of both.
fun and with control. Where and like, all right, I'm gonna throw this for and I can change it up. So I don't know. It's just something. Fishing's all about having fun. And that, I mean, there's a million ways to fish. I was thinking about making a video. How many different ways to fish? I'm like, there's like anything you can think of. If you like using a
I
Coke
don't think that's
can
a
and a
are you
line,
going
cane
to make a
pole.
6-hour video and that's just part 1? Because this would take a long time to talk about all the ways to fish. So,
I was just gonna like list every way I've ever seen somebody fish or something like that, like, and just like and give my perspective on it, like from fly fishing to tinkara. I'm like,
oh, more of like the overarching. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, like
Yeah, that
all
could
the
work.
different setups, like styles. I guess there are, and like, there's this kind and this, but I mean, I don't even know.
There's
Yeah,
so many niche things, yeah, like the Tin Cara and all that kind of stuff. There's so many niche things, and I feel like it's just only going to continue. Because it's like for me, my primary ways, it's like I do primarily ultralight spinning. I like just bass fishing, and then I play around with the BFS here and there. But there's 10 million other things I could be doing. I've got two fly setups. I never ever use them. It's just not my thing. But eventually, I'll probably get really into it. But you should make the video, John. I'm
oh yeah.
waiting.
I'm thinking about taking that fly rod. I got like 3 fly rods I haven't used in a year, and I was thinking about taking them back where I fished today, where I saw a bunch of I saw several trout that I didn't get to bite, and then
Yeah.
I caught a few in like a little bit. So I'm like, man, maybe I should take my fly rod back there and like spend some time. And then I'm like, nah, I just want to catch fish. Let me just take the spinning stuff. So I don't know. It's hard to say.
I got a question for you, and I'm going back to something that I want to do in 2025. I've been thinking about this a lot. Is like I said, this is just one that's the one that was in front of me. Like I said, it's just like the big bait stuff. Throwing some of these things that are a couple ounces. You've thrown some of the larger baits this year, right? I mean, like I know you threw like the mag draft a lot, but like you've thrown stuff that's even bigger than that. What line have you been using for that kind of stuff? It's a super random
Uh,
question.
yeah, I got one setup that is a 7.9 heavy rod. It's for like up to 4 ounces.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
don't take it because it's so big. I hardly ever use it.
Mhm.
I have it for like striper fishing and big bass fishing if I ever go like on a boat. But so I have a 7.3 that's a heavy, and I think it's rated up to 2 or 3 ounces,
Okay.
and I have 20-pound fluorocarbon on it,
Okay. Okay,
and
cool.
that's kind of like my dedicated bigger bait rod.
And you've thrown baits like over an ounce with that, and that's been
Yeah,
okay? Okay. Yeah, it's just like I haven't I don't do this stuff a lot. I have done it a little bit in the past, but it's been so long. And I've been primarily focused on like 2 pound test
yeah.
that it's like so I'm just trying to think about it. And the reason I was asking I picked up a spool, like while we're on this show and tell thing, I picked up a spool of this Suffix Advanced copolymer, and I got 20 pound. And I was thinking I might play around with this with like some of those swim baits and things. And I think the reason I kind of wanted copolymer because it had a little bit of stretch and that kind of that cushion. For some of those big ones, I was just nervous that I'd be snapping them off on a cast and stuff like that. And I thought the copolymer might be a little more durable, but I'll probably test it. And if I break off a $50 bait on a cast, I'll let you know.
I I have a couple that are probably close to 50, but I haven't gone and like bought the real expensive ones. And I've caught a I don't the first fish I ever caught on the glide bait was on the Bass Pro, whatever their like glides, like $13, $14 lure. And that was the first, whenever I used, the first time I like really saw it like clicked where I knew I was fishing this like creek ledge out of a lake. And like I knew in my mind, I knew there was fish there. I'm like, I know there's fish there. Like I know it. Like, I mean, you know how you've seen enough stuff and you've learned enough. I was catching some fish in some other places, but there was like this deep little bend. I'm like, I know there's fish in there. And I fished it and fished it and fished it. Couldn't get anything. I throw the glide bait. I paddled up and I floated down this edge, throwing the glide bait, kind of 19-inch largemouth.
Nice.
Came out of there. Never
that's
saw
awesome.
it. Had no. I mean, I'm like, wow, that's crazy. On that lure, and then I threw that lure. This was in a tournament, and I fished all day without getting a bite, without catching a fish.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last hour of the day, I picked up the glide bait. I just had it. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna throw it. And I just threw it on like a medium heavy rod. I didn't even really have a rod ready dedicated for it. I think that lure's like a ounce and 7/8, or maybe it's 7/8. It ain't real heavy, but anyhow. So then I threw it the rest for an hour and had like 6 follows and like 2 hits that I missed. It was crazy, the difference. I was like, that's insane.
The follows, yeah, that's worked. Like, but when I've played around with it in the past, the follows is real drives you nuts. You know, I feel like you get a decent amount of follows, but actually converting them to bites is a challenging thing. And it's so frustrating to see these really, sizable bass a lot of times come up and just kind of sniff it. And by the time you're getting it relatively close to your kayak, they just, they see the kayak and they bounce. So yeah, that's kind of one of the things just to kind of like think forward on 2025. I am not going to be stopping ultralight fishing, but like I've kind of got this idea where I think I'm just going to like get a handful of big baits because I've already got a bunch like collected, and I'm just going to go and try to catch fish on each one of them. And I don't really know what that's going to look like. I don't know how I'm going to go about it. I'm certainly not going to dedicate my entire year to big baits, but I do want to make sure that I'm fishing with some of them this year. That's one of my things. So anyways, what else is going on with you? What else has happened in this last few weeks since we...
Well, real quick, what's your frog rod setup?
Dude, I don't even really... I mean, I've got a 7'3" medium heavy that with braid that I would use. I don't throw a frog that much, to be honest.
Well, a lot of people, that's what I was asking. A lot of guys I know that throw glide baits throw on braid. And I wouldn't think would, but when they hook them, they want to hold them pinned, with something strong.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it makes sense. Part of me is like, I just want one rod that I can use for all the stuff, as opposed to, because if I want to throw like a mag draft or like a larger mag draft or whatever, that's subsurface. I don't want braid to like, I don't want the fish to be able to see like a big old thick braid.
They don't care. The braid ain't going to make any difference on a lure like that. No, I've witnessed it too many times in super clear water firsthand. I've caught them on braid, and the clearest water you can fish, watch them come up and hammer it. Even with me right there at the kayak, like I think they even knew the kayak was there. One of my biggest bass I caught this year was on a mag fluke.
Just straight braid.
Straight braid. I watched this fish. It's cool. It's probably one of the coolest catches I've ever had. So I'm in a kayak, standing up. I look over. I see 3 big bass, and I didn't know how big they were. They go up the other side of the river. This is the Coe River. Well, people know. But this is as clear as water as you can get. It's super clear. Like I'm seeing everything. 6 foot of water. I can see everything. I throw over there, and I'm like twitching as hard as I can, like violently, just jerk. And this one bass comes, follows. I'm like almost to the kayak. I'm like, he's not going to eat. I just let the lure follow the bottom. As soon as it hits the bottom, that bass just picks it up. Set the hook on it. Yeah. It had 30-pound braid, clear as water as could be. It's right underneath me, basically. That's where I think those bigger lures, that when those fish get into the eating mindset, they don't care about nothing. And that's where if you like my buddy, I've seen him catch bass on a 3-ounce glide bait that's slapping the water like a beaver tail, just kadoosh, and they still come up and follow it. Like it doesn't, when they want to eat it, it doesn't matter what you do. I don't think you can scare them off.
Yeah,
that's what's so funny.
I'll be experimenting with it. I have 2 rods that I'll probably use and go between a bunch of different baits. I got some of them, the Buka trick shad thing or whatever that is. It's like $30 or something. They're not cheap, but I've been like just slowly accumulating a few that I want to play with. And that's kind of one of my things this year that I'll be doing. Is there anything like, while we're on this topic of like, a couple like forward looking, right? Like it's January, new year, new me. Like what are some things you're excited for this year?
Speaking of that, I'll probably see Mike Buka at the Fishing Expo coming up. So next week, this podcast should be out before then. So I'll be at the East Tennessee Fishing Show in Knoxville, and I actually rented out a booth. I'm going to sell. I got like 100 camo hats, and I'm going to set up and just talk to whoever wants to come by and say hi. I had a lot of people ask if I was going to be there. So I'm like, I'm just going to be there. I'm going to hang out. I'm just going to set up. I bought a at Walmart. I got this foldable rocking chair. It's like a camp style rocking chair, like $75. I think it's so comfortable. I was like, I'm buying that just to take up there. So
you're gonna be sleeping at the show. Old man John, he fished too late last night. Yeah, he's just slept through the whole day.
Well, I'm excited about going there because also I walk around and I always come across things that I'm like, ooh, I want to try that. There'll be a million. Speaking of glide baits, there'll be a million like glide baits. There'll be all these different booths that make their own custom colors. I always pick up some for like they're usually $20, $30. I'm like, all right, well, I got to get that one. Well, I got to try that one. I always buy stuff like that, and it just it's a fun thing to do. I suggest anybody, if you're in the winter and you got some kind of fishing show to go to, dude, it's so fun, especially when it's like it's always like this, 25 degrees outside, and go inside, just walk around and daydream and just pick up fishing lures and whatever you want to buy. Speaking of buying things, I've been on a little rampage ordering more stuff. So I got some 1.2 pound line.
Oh, is that ester? Is that polyester?
It's fluorocarbon.
Fluorocarbon. Oh wow!
I never saw this, but Sunlight has it called.
Snap that. You are gonna snap that in two.
Yeah, I just had to get it, but I didn't realize that like Sunlight has so many different sizes. They have everything.
So that's JDM. Did you get that on like a Japanese website?
I think so. I got it off Amazon. I just typed in Amazon.
Actually, Amazon sells a lot of JDM stuff now.
I don't really know where it came. I have no idea where it came from. Well, anyway, so I got this. I got 3 pound. That's in my bag. I got 5 pound.
Oh, that looks good.
Shooter. I got 7 pound. That's on Sunline. That's on my other one. But I was thinking about doing a challenge where I was like some kind of challenge where I go 5 pound, 4 pound, 3, 2, 1, or something like that. Like have 5 different rods and just like work my way down.
It's a good idea.
Or
that 1.2, that's gonna be like Barbie hair, dude. That is gonna be crazy. Yeah, I used a 1.75 pound polyester this year on one of my setups. So probably just a slightly higher diameter. But man, you are going to be amazed at how far you can cast micro stuff with just the flick of a wrist, dude. It's hilarious because it's so low diameter and it's so limited weight in the line. Man, it just comes right off the spool like butter. It's so great.
I right now actually what I fished today with was 3 pound line. I got 3 pound on a spinning rod, and 3 pounds pretty strong for. I mean, it's like it's kind of tough. Like I like to just take it and break it and just see how strong it is. And 2 pound you can just snap. 3 pound, I'm like, wow, you got to do that. And then 4 pound, that's what I like about 4 pound. 4 pound line, I feel like is the best. But I'm always like, I don't know. I've been inside a lot, so I've been ordering stuff.
I'll be excited to hear what you think about some of those fluorocarbons. I personally haven't really loved really light fluorocarbon because I find that it snaps pretty easy. Whereas like I like more like the copolymer, and it's cheaper, but the copolymer has like a little bit of that stretch. And so I feel like it's so much more forgiving. So like a 2 pound fluoro versus a 2 pound copolymer, in my experience, I don't break the copolymer but I'll break the fluoro. And that, again, that's just my experience. And I haven't tried tons of fluorocarbons, so I need to probably continue to test them. But I'll tell you the polyester, people call it ester. That is a cool type of line. You got to play with some of that if you haven't done that yet.
I don't think I've ever used it. Like I've used this Trout magnet. It's 2-pound line.
Yeah, I think that's a copolymer, isn't it?
Is it copolymer?
I think someone told me that is, but maybe is it just mono or?
I don't know. That's what I was wondering what it was. It didn't say. I thought it was just mono.
I'm about 90% sure it's copolymer, but I could be totally wrong. Someone
I've caught a lot of fish on it, and it's pretty good and castable.
Yeah, a lot of people talk that one up.
Yeah, and I got some. I've used. This is what you recommended.
Yeah, I think I gave you a spool of that too. Didn't I give you a spool of that when you were up here?
Yeah, I got some 2-pound. I've used it. I got 4-pound and 6-pound. This was 6-pound. Just I'm like, I might want to go with something a little bit heavier and try it out. I don't know. I change line on my rods, like different reels, like all the time. I'm like, I have one reel. My favorite ultralight reel is the Shimano Mirabelle or Mirabelle, however you say it.
Tried that one.
It's a step up from the Nasty. Okay. It's like $130, and it feels so good. It's got really good drag system. It just feels really good. And I keep changing line on it like every 2 months. I've had braid.
So funny.
I've had 2-pound, 4-pound. Now I got 3-pound line on it.
That's so funny. I feel like I've experimented with a lot of lines, but I'll be honest with you, I am so stubborn. Like if I don't like a line, but it's still in good condition on my reel, I struggle. I have a hard time taking it off because I'm like, I don't want to waste it. But I need to probably start. If I don't like it, I should just strip it because there's just so many good lines out there and they make a huge difference. Like when it comes to like light line fishing, whether you're talking BFS or even finesse bass fishing, but definitely ultralight, dude, the line is a game changer. I mean, it's absolutely a huge difference maker with regards to how far you can cast, how well you can detect bites, just the rate of fall, like a lot of different things, the action. It's a huge difference maker. So I need to stop being so stubborn and just leaving line on my reels.
The problem is for me, I feel like there's too many different styles. I can never figure out which one I like. If I had to choose one line, like, all right, I got to put a ultralight setup. I really do like that sensation in like 4-pound.
Yeah.
And I feel like I go with a 4-pound and you can't go wrong. I can do about anything I want to do with it.
Yeah.
But then sometimes I'm like, man, I wish I had braid on here.
Yeah, I would go with my personal favorite right now, and ask me again in a year after I play with some others. I'm sure it might change, but 5-pound Phoenix iron feather braid, 4-pound Trilene Sensation copolymer leader. I love it. I can cast so far with that braid. It's bright pink, so I can see it. That would be my favorite. But to your point, if you just want to keep things simple and just want one setup, like the copolymer, that Trilene Sensation 4-pound or 2-pound, it's like $10 for a spool of 300 yards. Yeah. I mean, it's hard to beat that, really.
Yeah, sometimes I get tired of like retying leader line if you like getting stuck a lot, and I'll just go like, all right, especially if I'm taking one rod and I'm just like hiking a little ways, I don't want to have to bring leader material.
Yeah, dude, I honestly feel that. I told you about the ice fishing that I tried. I also tried a short trout fishing trip, and it was like literally 19 degrees outside, and my fingers felt like they were gonna just fall right off. It was terrible. I had braid on my spinning reel with a leader, and I snapped off, and I had to re-rig a leader with my fingers not functioning. And I'm like, dude, this is the worst. What am I doing? So it's needless to say, next time I go out and try to trout fish, if it's cold again, no, we're doing straight mono or copolymer or fluoro, whatever, but I am not dealing with a dang leader again. So that's a good point.
Yeah. What do you got coming up? What are your plans for now and next podcast, which will be in February? Got any things you're trying to get done besides getting organized? Or
dude, yeah, I'm so happy that we're past. I mean, here's the thing that I want to emphasize here. I didn't want to talk about the fact that I was in the process of buying a home, like and like moving, because I don't know, it's just kind of personal, and I didn't want to like. But now that it's all done, it's like, okay, so for the last couple months, I mean, you're looking for houses, so a lot of your free time, you're actually out there looking.
Yeah.
Then you're like thinking about like, okay, what's kind of, where do I want to live? All these things. You're thinking about all these things. So a lot of my time has been sucked up. So now, yeah, I can organize and stuff like that, but now I think I should be able to get back some of my freedom. So I want to, dude, I want to ice fish. I'd like to, I would love to get out and trout fish if I get a warmer trend, but I don't see that coming up in the forecast anytime soon. So I'd say my focus right now will be ice fishing. I
All right,
really don't.
next podcast, I want a good ice fishing story. That's what I'm writing down for
Yeah,
you.
man. I promise you, I got to catch something. This has been a horrendous last month. I painted my basement. I've been ripping carpet out. Like, dude, like,
Yeah.
what is that? That's not fun. I want to catch fish, dude. Painting? That sucks. Yeah. So I don't really care what I catch. Like, give me a yellow perch, give me a bluegill, crappie. I don't care. I want my rod to be flexing. That's what I want. What do you want to do this month, John?
Well, I got a lot of like meet and greet stuff I feel like coming up, like the different things. So I got to continue making videos, but I want to have my background. I'm gonna spend some time and like think about what I want to do. Do I want to put it back the same way I had it before? I love now that I'm the house I'm in now is twice the square footage of my other house with the garage. I'm in heaven. I feel like I have too much room in here. I'm getting lost walking around. No, my other house was tiny. It was like 700 square foot. So I think this is like 1,300. But yeah, I feel way more relaxed and like just open and just like I feel more comfortable. But now I got to start doing the little things that I like. The little, what do I want to do in the background? Get it set. Do I want to paint the wood or stain it or buy something different? Get that done, and then I'll feel even more better about the my studio. Get my studio set up
So
back.
was this the one piece of art you have here? This was like a nephew?
No, this is my buddy Josh's son, Josiah. He's
Okay.
7 or 8,
Okay.
and my buddy Josh Sharp. I fish with him all the time. So
Yeah.
I know it's his son. He'll bring to like when we go eating. Sometimes he's a character, and he loves fishing. So he drew this for me
That's
and
awesome.
gave it to me like 2 months ago, and I kept forgetting to post it, put it up
Yeah.
there. And
That's
every
great.
time he'd see me do a live stream and not see it in the background, he'd get upset. He's
Well,
like, well, I guess he didn't like it.
today's podcast, this one goes out to Josiah.
Yeah.
You have the best piece of art that I've seen on a podcast thus far. So
Right.
shout out to Josiah. It kind of makes me want to. So I've got a 3-year-old, and I do some watercolor painting with him. Just like I kind of like arts and crafts, and
Yeah.
I am not good. Like it looks like 2 3-year-olds were painting, but I kind of want to paint you a picture and send it to you. I kind of want to paint you a fish art. I want to contribute, bro. Like we have had a year of this podcast.
Yeah.
I owe you a piece of art, I feel like. So I'm gonna
Like,
contribute to
whatever's
that
biting
wall.
podcast art.
If I don't see my art on the background, then we're gonna have problems,
Oh, yours
dude.
in the trash. I got a bunch of stuff I want to put back there. I don't think I'm gonna have enough room. One of the things I loved was my little basketball goal.
That's a good
It's
sticker on
just
there.
like that's just me. I love having that. And then I have some more paintings or some pictures that I don't have framed that are really nice, like fish pictures. But I don't know. So I was thinking about doing it and just having like the whole area like kind of covered. Whatever gets shown. I also thought about this is something I've always thought about doing is like having certain lures I retire and just I like hang them
Yeah.
and have like a story to each lure.
Yeah.
Like this one did this one caught this fish, this one won me at a tournament. This is my favorite, but there's only so much room back there. It ain't all gonna get shown. But I might
You
do it
know
like on the
what?
side just to remind me.
You know what I just thought of is like one of my things that I'm really excited about is like I'm in my garage right now, and this is kind of my like mini like man cave thing that I'm kind of developing here. I've got this slat wall on my wall, which basically has like you can put pegs and stuff in
Oh
there.
yeah.
That could be, you might consider something like that back there, and you could have little hangers, and you could do your wall of retired lures and stuff like that. This I'm a big fan of it. I've got these little hooks and I can just hang lures on it and stuff. I'm gonna actually do a video here sooner than later. That's another thing I'd like to get done this month, is just kind of walking through like how I'm going to organize my gear and this setup. I feel like this time of year, a lot of people organize their gear and that type of thing
Well,
because
let's end this with a few organization tips or
yeah.
thoughts, because my garage right now, I went ahead, I put all my fishing lure in the middle of the garage. That way I can walk around it, but there's just boxes and boxes of stuff. And I have to get it
Just 80
organized.
rods in the middle of a garage.
Yeah. I have to figure out a way to get it organized, but I also want to get my mechanic tools kind of rebuilt back up. I like messing around with stuff. I don't do it all the time, but I do like working on trucks and cars a little bit. But I actually just ordered an impact drill just so I can take wheels and tires off. But anyhow, give me a few tips or things that, like, maybe what lures go with what, or how you would organize certain things. Got any ideas
I'll tell
or
you.
anything that's like good for organization? I want
I'll
to
t-
get some kind of shelving system that has like
yeah.
drawers that I can look into and like
Uh,
have, all right, these are jig heads. This is my ultralight stuff. This
yeah.
stuff. These are all yum dingers. All the bubblegum and swirl yum dingers. I
Yeah,
gotta have a
man.
whole box for them.
I get
But
those little like I got them a long time ago. I've been using the same ones ever since. It's like the little just like plastic totes that are clear, and I put my soft plastics in there and I organize by type. But I'll be honest with you, I feel like I'm always looking for a better system. So I don't know if I'm the one to ask here because I don't think my system's perfect, but I can tell you that I'm going to work real hard on it this winter, is getting this garage set up better. So who knows, maybe I'll learn a thing or two along the way. But one thing that I do know is you see these rods behind me. There's a product that the rod rack, I can't even call it a rod rack, the rod storage system that I have. It's literally, let's see if I can move my camera.
dude, I need
I'm
to see this.
wearing
Yeah.
um hey, that actually worked. You see it's just, oh, it's pretty bad lighting, but it's literally just a big foam block. So it's called, if you type in Rod Steward, like kind of like Rod Stewart, but Rod Steward with a D. Um, it's just a big piece of foam with holes in it, and you just shove the rod in there. And dude, it works better than any rod rack I've ever seen or used, because I feel like rod racks, you're always like the rods are like falling out, getting tanked, just they're inconvenient. From a storage standpoint, that's been my favorite storage product that I've owned, and I've had that little foam block for the last several years, and it's held up really well.
Oh, I just pulled it up. Rod Stewart. One word.
Yeah, it's like a guy in Louisiana. It's like it's not a fancy website by any means, but the product's wonderful.
Yeah. Dude, I feel like
I
I
mean,
could make that,
you'll
but I
need like
probably would be
16
better
of
off
them.
ordering it.
You'll need like about 100 of them because your collection is getting ridiculous.
Well, I just want to keep mine, and I want to have them in like categories. Like, these are my ultralights. These are my bait casters. These are my spinning rods.
Yeah.
At least something like that, where these are my catfish rods that I never use, that I haven't caught catfish in 3 years, but I have. That right there would make it actually pretty good. You could just get a few of those. Huh. Good little tip. Good little tip there. I like that.
All
I have to get
right,
some of those.
cool. Man, we've been talking for quite a while, so I think this is
So,
probably rounding it out. Is there any closing comments, any last words for the crew?
stay tuned. There may be some announcements coming out very soon that you're going to want to hear. So be looking forward to some things happening.
Exciting times, folks.
Yes, exciting
Exciting
times.
times.
So yeah, but anyhow, everybody hope they make it through the winter. We got you know, the days are already getting lighter. I've already noticed that the days are getting longer, and I'm like, oh, that's just, at least the sun's out a little bit longer, even though it's 19 degrees outside. Right now, it's what are we at? I don't even know. 26 degrees here. So
Hey,
yeah,
you
not
might
too
get
bad.
to ice fish in Tennessee.
I
Probably
drove
not.
by one of the lakes, and the back of the lake was iced over, and I was
Oh,
like,
there you
I need
go.
to get out and just act like I'm ice fishing or something. No, yeah, we'd have to get some really. We've been today. We got up to 45, and then it's going to get up to 50, I think, Wednesday. So I'm going to try to like plan something for Wednesday to really go out and fish because it should get pretty nice.
A
So
warming train could help you. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
I'm
man.
excited to see what happens by next podcast. This is the first one of the year. We're going to keep it going. And if you're listening on YouTube or on your podcast platform, we appreciate it. Leave us a comment, like, or whatever you can do. So, anything, any last words?
Have a great day. Thanks for listening.
You've been listening to the Whatever's Biting podcast. Hope you can get out there and catch whatever's biting.